What's up, Sunday fam? Welcome back to another video. Happy holidays. I hope you had a great one. I hope you had all of your presents that you wanted or close to what you wanted. It's been an interesting year for K-dramas, C-dramas, and J-dramas. Lots of highs and lows.
Lots of highs and lows. It's been one of the most unique years we've ever had, and we hope that you're safe and well over there, wherever you may be watching us. Thank you so much for being part of the Watching Sundays family, and what makes it so amazing is that you make this community shine and you make this community amazing, and we are just so thankful for your support.
So here are our best of superlatives for all Asian dramas in 2020. So there have been a lot of dramas on Netflix especially, but you know, with Viki and all of these streaming platforms all over the world, there's no end to them.
There's too many. It's an ocean. It's a galaxy. It's a freaking universe. And between the Asian dramas that we watch, from Chinese to Korean, for even anime or even Japanese dramas, there's only so much that we can cover. And so while I'm watching as many Chinese dramas or Korean dramas, Element here is watching as many Korean dramas that I can, just put it on his plate, because he's a busy man. I'm a busy man. I have families. He has
Star Wars.
If you don't know, he is a big Star Wars influencer. But let's kick it off with the best Chinese drama of the year.
Well, I haven't watched as much as you, so I would have to defer to your opinion on this matter. I loved Love and Redemption, or what I've seen of it so far.
Yeah, I would have to stick to my guns. When we did our collab with Avenue X, I had said that it was kind of a disappointed year for me personally, and that's just a preference and that's just my opinion. But I would have to agree, Love and Redemption stood out bar none on top of everything else. Second to that would be the Song of Glory, and all the rest just kind of fell flat.
I know this is a very divisive subject matter. There's a lot of favorites out there, and of course, leave it in the comment section down below. What is your favorite C-drama of 2020?
And just to add on to Love and Redemption, it just had everything in terms of what we were looking for. The shansha, the wuxia, action, music, the characters, a love story. It was all blended in perfectly together, and it had everything.
Yeah, and it brought back one of my favorite characters from Evernight, Mo Shan-chan. So here's the best K-dramas of 2020. For me, personally, it has to be one of the most recent ones that has brought so much wholesomeness to my heart. The story of Dosan and Dalmi is just a very wholesome story, and it's within a sphere that I'm quite familiar with in terms of startup and the tech industry. Watching a romantic K-drama centered around the startup world and the tech industry was just a huge breath of fresh air.
And if anything, startup really kind of gave us second lead syndrome. There was a lot of talk and a lot of hype between Dosan and Han Ji-pyong, and that was just the dynamic that I haven't experienced in K-dramas before. The second lead syndrome was on in startup. Yeah,
and the show also does a great job of building up ancillary characters. We cared about Chol-sun and Saha's relationship as well, but the biggest thing about this drama is that it successfully mirrored the love triangle to the tech startup triangle.
And there was like every week we were like, Dosan's gonna win, Han Ji-pyong's gonna win, and ultimately that was just a dynamic conversation that we had with the whole community. For me, the best Korean drama of 2020 has to go with It's Okay to Not Be Okay. It was the most creative type of K-drama that I've ever seen, based off of children's book novels or dark fantasies, to teach you a lesson about life, you know what I mean? And Ko Min-young, So Ye-ji was just fantastic in this show, and all of the little lessons of acceptance and letting go of the burdens that you carry in your life really struck a chord in my heart. And so that's why I would have to give the best K-drama of 2022 It's Okay.
It's Okay to Not Be Okay is a great pick, and it's a great choice. It's a second place to me, and it's an honorable mention. It does a great job of bringing to the forefront the conversation or the dialogue around mental health issues. And it was also the first time I'd seen Kang Tae since Dream High, and if you know, you know.
And I wanted to throw out honorable mentions for K-dramas of 2020. The Flower of Evil had to be one of the top 3 or top 4 K-dramas, especially in the thriller genre. I would have to say Extracurricular is there as well. How about you? Do you have any other ones?
Well, we're still in the midst of Uncanny Counter, and I have high hopes for that show. The Call is a movie, it's not a show, but I absolutely enjoyed that movie as well. And yeah, we're going to talk about Sweet Home more, but that was definitely another surprise of 2020 as well. And because Flip has seen more C-dramas than I have, I can't really, contribute to this. So here is his best actors of 2020.
I would have to give the Best Actor award for C-Drama 2020 to Chen Hao, The Bad Kids. His portrayal of Dong Sheng in that drama was just amazing. The whole show, the way he portrayed that character was just so riveting and so, nuanced in terms of getting your heart pumping from one episode to the next. My favorite actress of 2020, and this is going to be super controversial. I'm sure you're going to leave your comments in the section below, but Angela Baby from A Murderous Affair in Horizon Tower. Even though that show did not garner the same attention or the same amount of praise it did in social media and amongst other fans that are out there, I thought that show was amazing. Probably one of the best shows I've seen of the year. That's probably going to leave me in the minority here in terms of my opinion, but Angela Baby's portrayal of Zhang Mei Bao was just so heart-wrenching, and there was a lot of talk about her, the way she acts, and maybe it's all fake, but honestly, from seeing her for the very first time in the screen, I thought it was all very heartwarming and genuine. And because we've seen just about all the K-dramas together,
here are our best K-drama actors of 2020. You know who it is for me. It's Suzy. My best K-drama of 2020 is a Startup, and her performance in Startup was just spectacular, riveting, as you like to use. Just every time she's on screen and has to summon up the emotional power and intensity to portray the emotions in that scene, she does it 200%. Like, her eyes well up when they need to well up, and then they pour when they need to pour.
Yeah.
And you can't help but, draw out some tears of your own when you're watching her, go through what she's going through in her scenes. But she's just an amazing actress. And again, besides Vagabond, it's the first time that I've seen Suzy since Dream High. If you know, you know.
No, I'm really stuck in the middle here between Suzy Bae and Kim Go-eun. But I'm gonna have to go with Kim Go-eun from The King, Eternal Monarch. That one scene really stuck out for me. Like when she was desperate, in need of help, looking for the king, and she was just really kind of running out of options, and just the emotion that she portrayed on screen, her crying, her desperate attempts to survive, that just like stood out for me over anything else.
All actors in K-dramas are just awesome at crying.
And it's only the second time I've seen her since Memory of the Sword. If you know, you know.
Of course, these awards are in no way, shape, and form a way to say that others don't deserve accolades. This is a non-zero-sum game for us, and we do have some honorable mentions to mention. Of course, my first honorable mention comes from It's Okay to Not Be Okay. Also, an honorable mention for me in terms of shows. Soyeji is just beautiful, elegant, just downright gorgeous, but the way she portrays her character in such 180 fashions when it comes to her growth and arc, changing for Soyeon and then inhabiting this stoic and creepy and cold
dominatrix.
Almost dominatrix, yes, and then going back to being in love with Soyeon and having that kind of innocence about her and vulnerability. It's just these two positions are so dichotomous or antitheses of each other that it's just a testament to her acting ability.
Yeah! I would like to give my honorable mentions to Woo Do-hwan, who plays Yoon-sup in The King, Eternal Monarch. I've seen him in many different types of genres, especially for my country. When it's a historical drama, but he's very much more of a serious role. But then in his turn for The King, Eternal Monarch, it was just such a pleasant surprise. He has the levity and comedic portrayal of two different characters. Oh, that was just so good for me. And of course, Han Ji-pyong.
Yeah. And of course, we had some standout breakthrough dramas that came out recently that have huge potential. These are our biggest surprises of 2020.
first one was very, very big in terms of surprise, right?
Yes.
We had no idea that this was such a big topic in the manga universe, you know, in like just different types of fans, different types of fandom separated by live action and comics is Alice in Borderland.
Alice in Borderland was a huge breakout, a huge surprise because, of course, Netflix has been flooded with K-dramas and C-dramas, and we rarely see the J-drama come out and be so popular. I mean, I think it's still trending to this day.
It reached number 9 or just in the top 10 of like multiple countries that week.
Absolutely, and so it's a breath of fresh air to see a J-drama reach such traction on Netflix. The isekai genre is a huge and popular genre in anime, and to see a live action where it's not necessarily an isekai, but it is like a mix between isekai and virtual reality, where they are in another world, so to speak. We still don't know the full details of the series, but again, this show was just a gentle surprise.
And another honorable mention of the biggest surprise of 2020 is, of course, the most recent Sweet Home. And that is just monsters and tigers and more monsters. Oh my.
Yes, that was a monstrous surprise. First of all, just because I felt like I was tired of that genre, tired of monsters, tired of zombies, or the post-apocalyptic setting, with Walking Dead. It's recently gone downhill for me, but after watching this show, I've been reinvigorated or re-energized or revitalized in that genre because it's so unique, and of course it has rumblings of Tokyo Ghoul and all of the other types of animes and shows of this genre, but they do such a great job of making this a character piece versus a monster piece that it has so much potential moving forward.
I mean, aside from all of the glitches in terms of special effects, practical effects, special effects, it seemed like sometimes you were watching a cut of Resident Evil when you got to a really important section of it. But, a reflection of humanity itself, and it surprised me in a way that it really resembled more of an anime than the J-drama Alice in Borderland, to be honest with you. Like, when I watched Sweet Home, it reminded me of Bleach, when the hero comes through and goes through his evolution. And, that part of it is really what's exciting me about this story.
But that'll do it for our best of 2020. These are just our opinions, but leave your comments in the section down below. Tell us all of your best of 2020 shows. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, turn on notifications so you know when we post new videos, and we'll see you next time.